to earn from an acre. For starters, if you are going to plant beans, you need to start preparing your garden. For example, the season that is coming next is going to start in around October. So by August, October, your garden should have been prepared for the beans. What does it imply for you? What are the cost implications of plowing the garden? Roughly, you will need roughly around 200,000 or less to plow to a clean garden where your beans are going to grow so well. So to a rough estimate, the inputs you are going to use for one to grow an acre is roughly going to be between 800,000 to 1 million. What are some of these inputs that you are going to need? Number one, you will need seeds that you are going to plant in that 1 acre. Roughly 30 to 35 kilograms of beans can fit in an acre. You will need pesticides. You will need fungicides to some extent, especially if there are too much rains. You also need fertilizers if your land is not fertile enough. But for us here, we are lucky that a big percentage of our land is very fertile. So we didn't require lots and lots of fertilizers, except in a few areas where we had to use Black Off. It's a fertilizer locally made by a Ugandan here. So after the fertilizers, the pesticides, you need labor to spray, you need labor to apply the herbicides, because of late, we no longer use labor to dig or to weed the beans. It takes so long. So just imagine, I'm weeding 12 acres and I'm using human labor. Do you know how much longer it would take? But on the market, we have weeders that weed our beans, and they are really, really good. They leave the beans looking nice, and then they kill all the weeds underneath. So after all that you have put in, we have estimated our cost to be 800 to 1 million for an acre. So calculate, if you are growing at least 10 to 12 acres, how much money you are going to input there. And then from there, from the 30 kilograms of beans, 30 to 5 kilograms of beans, we anticipate with proper agronomic practices, you'll get between 700 to 800 kilograms of beans. And this is at the lowest that I'm talking about. I've seen farmers, I've been to farms where a farm plants 30 to 35 kilograms of beans, and this person harvests 1,000 kilograms of beans. Some of you are going to say, Madam Olimba, no, it is possible. What are some of these proper agronomic practices that you can input for you to be able to earn or to harvest 700 to 800 kilograms of beans? Number one, ensure you plant on time. When the rain starts, don't plant 1.5 months after. That will be too late. It means they're going to be affected by lack of rain. And also don't plant where there is too much rain. When it's too much rain, the beans will not grow so well. Most of them are going to rot. And still also, some of you are going to start, you see, we are using a lot of chemicals. You cannot spray the beans. They will not. If you are doing something commercially, farmers, there is nothing you are going to grow on this planet, especially in Africa, without chemicals. Unless if you are growing half an acre for your own consumption at home, that is hobby farming. But for commercial 5 acres and above, there is no way you are going to avoid the use of chemicals, and if you really want to get a bumper harvest from your beans. So some of the chemicals you may need, you will need pesticides to control the several pests that may come on your beans. You will need fungicides to control the fungal infections. The fungal infections, how do you have a fungal infection in your beans? That you have put everything, the fertilizer and everything, and then you see your beans are yellowing, or you find a certain area of your beans, the leaves are wilting a little bit. Chances are very high, if there are no pests under, you are faced with a fungicide. And also in incidences where your areas are not fertile, you may be able to use liquid fertilizer, which you are going to put on your spray on your beans. You also need labor to account for the labor for the people who are going to do the spraying of these beans, of both the pesticides, the fungicides, the fertilizers. Remember, farmers, I told you an acre takes in 30 to 35 kilograms. Here at my farm, I consider myself a lucky one, and I always pray to God for that, because our area is quite fertile. So what I did, I planted 1 bean per hole. So in other words, I only planted 30 kilograms I planted 30 kilograms per acre. So what does it mean? What are the cost implications? By the time I bought the seeds, I bought them 3,500. But the people who bought way after me, like if the season for planting is going closer, they become to be so expensive. And those who bought them closer to the season of planting, they bought them at 4,000, 4,500. You get my point. I was able to save 1,000 shillings per kilo because I bought them earlier before the time for planting had started in. You get my point, guys. All this information I get from the people around me. This is the good kind of good neighborliness. They always give you free information wherever you need it. We anticipate in our beans per acre, we are going to harvest between 700 to 800 kilograms of beans. This is the lowest I'm talking about. There are people with the proper agronomic practices that get up to 1,000 kilograms of beans. You get my point. I've already